I want you to understand that my campaign is your campaign as well. 我的成功就是你们的成功. We are one community. We need to put aside any petty differences and realize that we are stronger if we are unified. For example, there are issues that are directly related to our community. Admissions fairness, job discrimination, employment opportunities. These are all issues that impact every single person here. And who can tell me how many people are in the legislative branch of the United States?
You mean in Congress or
in Congress and the Senate? Well, we know that Senate has
100.
Right,
yeah.
so
Congress
how many
has
people?
probably 430 something.
435.
Okay.
Good for you. Had a piece of candy, I throw it to you. But so 535 members of Congress, we only had 3 Chinese Americans. This is sad. We can do better than this. We can do so much better. And Xue Shen has been absolutely vital in terms of fighting for our rights. Sherry Chen from Massachusetts 是你们的 Sherry Chen.
Sherry Chen from Ohio.
Oh, but this happened in Massachusetts or no? It happened in Ohio.
Yeah.
And Professor Xi from just a few minutes from where we live.
Yeah.
The United States government can't keep trampling on our rights without consequences. 你们熟悉，你们知道他们的故事吗？So they were wrongfully arrested and the charges are dropped. They were accused of espionage. And this happens time and time again. And these are only the 2 most high-profile cases. There has to be consequences for this, but no one is really speaking out. Any rumblings are only on the surface. We have to be very vocal about this. And the great thing about my campaign is this is politics in its purest form. It doesn't get purer than this. I'm not in anyone's pocket. I don't need anybody. I don't need anything from anyone. I don't owe any political favors. If I'm not courageous to say the things that need to be said, who's going to be brave enough? And if you scroll up a little bit, Tiger, let me just show you. Congressman Ted Lieu joined us at a California event.
Yep.
是因为薛是把他请来的, so thank you so much for that. And this is at our San Francisco event. But this is what I wrote about gun control. This is exactly what the National Rifle Association wants to keep quiet. But I have to say these things. The situation needs to change. We have more guns than people in this country. We have about 310 million people. We have just as many guns, or if not more. That is such a scary situation. You cannot tell me that the only way to solve a problem is with a good guy with a gun. The only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. That is just nonsensical. When you have 310 million guns in this country, there's bound to be a volatile situation. 我昨天晚上，你们很多人，我同学们或者是我的年纪的人在玩的时候，我就听 I was reading about gun research. If you have a gun in your home, you're more likely to die of suicide or homicide. So you think that you're protecting your family by having a gun in your household, you're actually endangering the people that you love the most. And I'm not saying that we need to confiscate our guns, but something needs to be done. And what's your name? The little boy spinning in the chair?
Me?
Yeah, what's your name?
Brendan
and Tiger and the beautiful little girls in the back. We want you to have safe streets. We want you to be comfortable walking around the streets and not have to turn your head around to see if anyone's following you, who's about to hurt you. That's not what we want. We want a safe community for our children. Newtown Square, 康州离这不远，对不对？谁可以想到有26个孩子，20个孩子，6个老师会被 Well, that they were killed. That who could have thought that a quiet little town would be disrupted by such tragedy? This could happen anywhere. We have to do something. And so I can go on and on about gun control, but let's talk about the issues that impact our community the most. You know, there are bouts of discrimination that aren't obvious, but the way that they look at us, the way that they treat us, it's very covert, right? But we want to be Americans too. We want to be part of the mainstream society. My goal in our campaign, through our campaign, is to take us one step closer to the day when they say, look at that American running for Congress. She may be young, but I'm not going to define her as a Chinese American. Because we don't talk about Irish Americans anymore. We don't talk about German Americans or British Americans. That sounds silly. We want to get to the day when they say, look at that American running for Congress, and I'm going to evaluate her based on the content of her character, the content of her ideas, and what she has to offer society. So that's my dream for all of you. My campaign will make Stephen's campaign for the Senate so much easier. Someone has to do this first. Because if no one is taking the first step, there's never going to be a second step. And我们都是差不多. Was anyone actually, other than the children, was anyone born in the United States? Right? 我们都是第一代，对不对？我们都是带着那个中国人的奋斗精神，那种努力，可以吃苦。我们前几年我还记得是2月份，2014年，你告诉我身上最突出的一件my quality 就是我可以吃苦。优点，对。
只有这么一条优点。
只有这一条。But I think it's not just my quality. Everyone in this room was here because 你可以吃苦 ，right? 你们可以牺牲，你可以努力。你非常累的时候，你还是拼命的去追求你的梦想。That's something that we share between all of us. That's why you were here. That's how you made it into the United States. So we all share that characteristic. And that's what we want to bring to the country. That's what I want to show the rest of America. 我们可以做医生、律师、scientist、科学家。But we can also be public servants. 这是现在我们只有三个华人，没有
联邦政府。
对。
还是地方的 local 的 more in the local.
Right, but we don't have anyone at the federal level other than Grace Meng, Judy Chu, and Ted Lieu. And then we wonder why we don't have a voice. There are a few things that we're doing incorrectly, or I think we're not doing enough. We're not voting. We're not showing up at the polls. How many people actually voted in 2014? The average participation rate across America was 42%. And that's the average. 你就想想看，中国人肯定是更低了。And so we're not voting enough. We're not keeping our politicians accountable. That's number one. That's a problem. Because how do we force them to do what we want them to do if there are no consequences? That's problem number one. Number two, we're not running for office enough. We're very focused on our careers. Your daughter, 季叔叔的女儿非常成功，非常能干. She works at Blackstone, right? She's at the top of the world in the corporate world. And we need more business leaders like her, but we also need more political leaders. But where are they? They're nowhere to be found. We need to step up. We prosper economically, academically, but what about politically? And this is so important because politically, politics touches every aspect of your life. And so the number two issue is that we're not running for office. And number three, when someone runs for office, we're not supporting them enough. So when the Indian community finds a candidate, they come out in droves. Actually, Mike Honda, who's running out in California, he's facing a primary in Ro Khanna. And he's outraising Mike Honda. Because the Indian community, whenever they discover a candidate, whenever they realize that someone is running for Congress, everyone comes together. It's very institutionalized. 这不是我们的错, it's just because we don't have the infrastructure. But let's start building the infrastructure. Let's start building a strong foundation for our future generations. And Tiger, and Steven, everyone else, I want to learn your names. And thank you for coming. Beautiful girl, what's your name? Shanae. Seriously? Oh my god! I was there when you were born! Oh my god, you're taller than me! Oh my god. So, can I just say something? I'm dating myself. When you were born, it was the year that Shanae was Miss America, right? Or just the year after?
A year after.
Exactly. So she was named after Miss America. 那我跑到他们楼底下去删照片，看《还珠格格》。Oh my gosh! It's so good to see you. 我们已经
他给一下
Thank you for coming. I hope it wasn't too out of the way. You smell good too. And oh wow. Now I'm distracted. Where was I? Anyway, see, we're one community. We got to stick together like rice. Pun intended. That's how we succeed. 季先生把我送过来的时候，又麻烦他了，对不起。我们就讨论 我们现在有很多优秀华人孩子 but we're so disparate. We're scattered around the country. We need to band together. It's like that. Actually, why? I'm gonna cite the Bible. I never cite the Bible on the campaign trail, but there's a Bible verse about how if you 2 or 3 people banding together, you're stronger than one person standing alone. It's what they used was actually wheats, right, or something. But the idea is we are stronger. We find strength in numbers. We have to be more supportive of each other and put our differences aside. For example, let me just tell you, I've never shared